This is Design Safe Radio, where natural hazards researchers strive to make our society more resilient to everything nature throws at us.
All right, welcome to another episode of Design Safe Radio. I'm super excited today to talk to Brady Cox from Utah State University, and man, it's been a while since we've chatted. I was just saying before we got on here, I think the last time we talked, you were still the PI at University of Texas Shaker Fleet, and it's really good to see you're still working with them, and good to see you again, man.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I appreciate you inviting me on to the podcast here, and happy to talk about NHERI at U Texas, our large mobile shaker facility.
So we're seeing these massive machines behind you on the Zoom background here. Can you give us a little bit about these just amazing trucks that are in the fleet?
Yeah, you bet. So we have a number of trucks at our site. Our three main trucks are shown in my Zoom background, and I'll point them out. So this truck here, this one's T-Rex. T-Rex is, as far as we know, the only triaxial vibrosized shaker truck operating in the world. And what that means is that T-Rex, at the push of a button, can change from shaking vertically to horizontally crossline and horizontally inline. So it's a really unique piece of equipment. T-Rex is about 32 feet long and about 8 feet wide, so it's not much wider than a normal vehicle, but it weighs over 60,000 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
So the equivalent of that would be, let's say, about 10 Suburbans. Okay, so if you had 10 large Chevy Suburbans piled on top of one another, that would be the weight of T-Rex. T-Rex, let's see, can shake at a wide range of frequencies. So many cycles per second, we call that hertz. Okay, so 5 cycles per second T-Rex can shake at, which is relatively slow, but you think about 5 times per second, that's kind of fast to us, but it can go up to over 100 cycles or times per second.
Wow.
So it kind of has a broad range of frequencies that it can generate these dynamic forces. Essentially, we're in a really rough description, we're simulating earthquake waves. Liquidator, this one over here, it looks very similar to T-Rex, but it's different. It weighs a little bit more. It actually weighs over 70,000 pounds, so it's a little bit heavier than T-Rex. But Liquidator right now, it really only shakes vertically, but it was designed to shake to quite low frequencies, so as slow as a half of a cycle per second.
Whoa.
Which allows us to generate longer waves, we call them, so we can look deeper into the ground.
And Liquidator, if I remember right, seeing a demo of it once, it'll actually lift itself up off of that that big plate, orange plate in the middle, and
it
bounce
can,
up and down like a pogo stick almost.
It can indeed lift itself off the ground. So Professor Ken Stokey at the University of Texas, he modified Liquidator even beyond its unique capabilities, where it will lift itself off the ground and use its entire weight essentially to generate forces. And
Ken, if you're listening to this, you still owe me an interview at some point.
Okay, I'm sure he'll, if we can track him down.
We've been trying to wrangle him for years, but I know he is a busy guy.
For sure, yeah. But Liquidator is also unique in the world. It was custom built to shake at low frequencies, and there's no other truck in the world like Liquidator. This little truck right here, and if I spin just a little bit, you can kind of see it better. That one is called Thumper. And Thumper is a much more common type of shaker, a vibrosized truck. And so there's quite a few of those in operation, and it's used to shake at higher frequencies. So it has much lower force output, but it still is very useful to us. We call that our urban shaker. So when we, pull up with Liquidator or T-Rex, people's eyes get really big, and they're like, oh man, for sure they're going to destroy my house or damage my building or my bridge. But if we pull up with Thumper, people are a lot more calm and less likely to get excited. But it operates to higher frequencies up to about 500 times per second. It can so.
And that's like I'm got a little bit of musical background, and that's starting to get into audible frequencies that are in the kind of low musical range.
Yeah, you can definitely hear it with your ears when you sweep through frequencies with Thumper. You can hear the frequencies changing, essentially the note changing that it's vibrating at. Yeah. And over here, kind of on the, let's see which way, this way, this is our big rig. So we have our own tractor trailer, our tractor and a trailer that we pull our vehicles around with, because T-Rex and Liquidator are too large and too slow to drive on the road. So we have to haul them around the country. And we indeed have taken them all over the US and also internationally. So T-Rex went to New Zealand a few years ago after the Christchurch earthquakes, and we left T-Rex in New Zealand for almost a year.
Wow.
Working on several different NSF-funded research projects.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of Design Safe Radio. This show is sponsored by the National Science Foundation grant number 1612144. You can subscribe to Design Safe Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find your podcasts. Please leave us a review so we can improve the show. Please also help others find our episodes in iTunes. Thanks for your feedback and support. You can find out more about NHERI at designsafe-ci.org, on Facebook at Design Safe Radio, or on Twitter at NHERI Design Safe.